Hey everybody, and welcome back to Astrologaster. So just something I wanted to show off real quick before we jump into the game is this little about section, which has some pretty interesting information here. So Astrologaster takes its inspiration from the casebooks of the real-life astrologer Simon Forman. In the decades around 1600, he and his protege Richard Napier produced one of the richest surviving texts or sets of private medical records in history. These records are a unique source of the study of everyday life and the practice of medicine in the early modern England. The Casebooks Project, a team of scholars at the University of Cambridge led by Professor Lauren Castle, has transformed this paper archive into a digital archive and acted as historic consultants on the game. The team at Yam Yam, the creators of this game, was inspired and informed by Forman's casebooks, but the game is not a dramatization of actual cases. Forman and Napier's casebooks are held in the Bodleian Library in Oxford. They fill 66 calf-bound volumes, page after page written in antiquated and messy handwriting. To see the casebooks and learn more about the astrologers and the history of medicine, go to casebooks.lib.cam.ac.uk. So it gives us a little bit more information that Mr. Simon Forman was a real person. He was an actual astrologer slash doctor, but none of the things we're actually working on here are true. It's really kind of exaggerated dramatization or whatever. So let's go ahead and continue our game. Pick up where we left off last time. Signor Ferraro, what kind of strange and bizarre maladies have you brought to us today?
Good morrow, sir, and well met.
Indeed, 'tis I, RicardoFerraro, come once again to the great Doctor Simon Forman.
Aye, and I can see why you are come. Methinks you are not well, signor. The colour of your face is quite alarming.
It is because I am losing the blood.
Excuse
the blood
me?
does drain away from my face, way down my body and out of my...
You are bleeding from your fundament. How much have you been bleeding, and for how long?
Un poco, not too much. It does come and go. Sometimes blood, sometimes no blood. You stop the blood, see?
Mayhap I will, but first I must consult the stars to find a diagnosis. What ails Signor RicardoFerraro?
I'm sorry, Mr. Ferraro. It sounds like you either have some kind of colon cancer, or perhaps you just have hemorrhoids. Let's check it out. I am bleeding from my fundament. What ails me? Signor Ferraro has hemorrhoids, which are swellings in the anus and the rectum. Boy, real sorry, YouTube. Real sorry for these words that I'm saying. Blind hemorrhoids cause pain, whereas open hemorrhoids are apt to bleed. Sounds like that's what you have, sir. Signor Ferraro suffers from jaundice. A blockage in Signor Ferraro's neck has caused collar to pool in his head, turning his face yellow. No, he does not have jaundice. That's not his main symptom. He may have both, but his main complaint today is bleeding from the fundament. So here you go, sir. Please take some strong water and shove it up your backside. I mean your fundament, sir.
There is nothing here to worry about, Signor Ferraro. Your body is merely purging itself of corrupted blood, in a similar manner to that which does occur in a woman's nethers each month.
It's not the same.
To wit, 'tis most healthsome and natural.
Really not.
Are you sure? Are you sure that is your final answer?
Indeed it is. I do assure you, Signor, 'tis the very latest medical thinking on the subject of hemorrhoids. You are welcome to procure a second opinion, but I warrant you will find that most doctors in London will tell you the same.
Then RicardoFerraro bids you good day, Signor Forman.
Yeah, I don't think that those two things are correct or the same, Simon. Not quite sure that's true, but 1600 medicine. The querent did present with the symptoms of bleeding from the fundament. I did diagnose hemorrhoids and told the querent that bleeding from them is as natural as a woman's monthly courses. Methinks the querent was a little pleased for me with the reading I gave the stage, so just a little pleased. He's only gonna... it looks like we only have 2 more visits from Mr. Ferraro. And I don't think we can get to 100 with only 2 more visits. This querent will return for another consultation. A textbook answer, but it is not hard for a common man to procure a medical book nowadays. Oh, so he didn't like that. Did not like that. He wanted us to tell him something wild and ridiculous.
This woman has a gift for words. If only she had riches words, they'd probably be much better words. Though written by her lady.
Yeah. I hate to see words written by a lady. Clearly... Okay, I'm gonna stop even pretending to have any satire of sexism, because someone's gonna take it as truth. I don't mean it. Please don't think I mean it. But I think if she had written it, she would not have rhymed words with words with words.
Did you see that?
See what, madam?
Your querent, Signor Ferraro, scuttling away from me like a frighted rabbit. What have I ever done to upset the man? All I did was wish him buongiorno as I passed him at the door.
Verily, Signor Ferraro's behaviour does sound full strange. But let us not think of him, but of the matter that brings you hither, Mistress Lanier. How do you fare?
I fare most well, in the main, for I'm happy to report that you were quite wrong in judging that collaboration with Mr. S would fare ill. For in sooth, 'tis going exceeding well.
Are you sure about that?
Verily, Dr. Forman, I would be right content with my lot at present if it were not for the trouble I am come about this day.
Pray, tell me of this trouble, madam.
I am being prowled. Oftentimes in the night I see him following me home. One time methinks I even caught him looking at me through my window. I would have you tell me who this prowling man might be.
A prowler? How very worrisome. Can you describe this man to me?
Nay, for 'tis always at night that I spy him, and I have always been too frighted for my eyes to linger upon him very long.
Then let us see what light the stars can shed upon the identity of this man who hides himself in darkness. Who is the man prowling Mistress Lanier?
Is it Mr. S himself? Who is this mysterious man prowling me? The prowler is a violent husband. The prowler hopes for a reversal of the ill luck he had with Mistress Lanier. He harbors a misguided hope that she will perform her wifely duties and resume intimate relations with him. I don't know why her husband would have to follow her all the time unless he's upset that she's going out and hanging out with Mr. S. Mistress Lanier is suffering mental confusion owing to her religious beliefs. She also harbors an unjustified level of mistrust toward prospective romantic partners. Okay, don't like that one. The Prowler is a man of authority and a master of wit. Mistress Lanier considers him a friend. The Prowler harbors undeclared feelings for Mistress Lanier. Yeah, we're going this way. It's Mr. S. Your collaborator is prowling you, and I believe you will not like this answer, but you know what? It is what it is.
The stars suggest that your prowler is a man with a talent for wit, a man who secretly harbors amorous feelings towards you. Does that sound like anyone you know, madam?
Dr. Forman, I find your question most illogical. I cannot know of a man who harbours secret feelings for me, for indeed, if I were to know of them, the feelings would not be secret.
Yes, well, let me put it another way. Your friend, Mr. S, is the keen-witted man who furtively admires you. He is your prowler, madam.
Mr. S is my prowler, you say? Why, Dr. Forman, what is in you? For indeed 'tis not the first time you have cast shade upon the character of Mr. S. I bid you, sir, check the stars again.
Is it not the most likely explanation, though, madam?
I assure you there is nothing likely about the unique relationship betwixt me and Mr. S. Indeed, he has too much respect for my literary mind to use me so ill. For his is a noble intellect that allows him to soar above the baser instincts of lesser men.
I think you're wrong there, ma'am.
Now, if you will not judge the stars again for me, I will bid you good day, Dr. Forman.
I mean, good luck, but you'll find we're wrong, or we are right in the end. Excuse me, we are right. The querent believed that she was being prowled by a man and did wish to know his identity. I did advise the querent that her prowler is her literary collaborator, Mr. S. Methinks the querent took my advice rather ill. Yeah, knocked it down a bit. Dr. Forman does not understand how unlike we artists are to common folk, but she will return again.
Hear ye, hear ye! Sir Walter Raleigh fails to find legendary Treasure City. Rumours say next Raleigh voyage is to Pot of Gold at End of Rainbow. Hear ye!
Well, we knew that was going to fail. He was not going to find El Dorado. Reports have lately come in that Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World in search of El Dorado has been a colossal cluster fail, despite Raleigh's assurances to the Queen that he would return with gold raided from the legendary city. It is said that Raleigh's ships bring back naught but potatoes. Hopefully they don't eat the green ones. Experts predict Her Majesty's reaction will be somewhat testy.
Here comes Emma, so kind is she, to the frail and aged she offers sympathy. What is she for others? Especially when they're born of wealth. Here comes Emma, so kind-hearted is she.
Well, hello, Miss Emma Sharp. Please come in and tell me what ails you. You are a kind-hearted woman.
Good day to you, Mistress Sharp.
Good day, Dr. Forman. But I am Mistress Delamere now.
Mistress Delamere? But as I recall from my case notes... let me see now. 'Twas 3 years past. Aye, were you not hoping to marry a man named George Middleton?
Oh, yes. I did marry Mr. Middleton. But not long after we were wed, he fell to his death whilst taking the air atop a church belfry.
We told him not to go up there.
Struck down by his abiding love of late Gothic architecture.
I think you
There,
killed
my
him,
dear
ma'am.
lady. How distressing your late husband's death must have been for you.
Aye, indeed, Dr. Forman, so much so that my friends urged me to marry again, lest I die of grief. But now that I am once more a wife, I would not wish to be widowed anew, and John Delamere, my present husband, is also an older man.
Oh, God,
Dr.
another
Forman,
older man.
You must tell me whether there be any illness he has, whether there be anything I might do to save my dear sweet husband from an early death.
Okay,
Then
she's
let
killing
us
her
see what
husband.
the stars have
No
to say.
doubt.
Is Mr. John Delamere troubled with any condition that may cause him to die?
Okay, we're going to tell her anything that's not life-threatening. Even though we told her something that was not life-threatening last time, and she still managed to kill him. John Delamere does suffer from a cardiac passion. This suggests the condition cannot be cured. John Delamere has been bewitched. This suggests the possibility of death and witchcraft. John Delamere is troubled with quinsy, a condition characterized by soreness of the throat. So, does he have a heart disease? Has he been cursed? Or does he just have a sore throat? Yep, just a sore throat, ma'am. Just a sore throat.
Your husband suffers from quinsy, madam.
Oh, you mean to say he has a sore throat?
'Tis a trifle graver than that, madam, but to be sure, quinsy is not fatal. To hasten your Mr. Delamere's recovery, there is a most effective treatment that you may wish to try. A moment, prithee, madam, while I consult my medical handbook. Yes. To treat quinsy, stroke the patient's swollen throat with the hand of a fresh corpse.
That's weird.
I am to find a dead man's hand and use it to stroke my husband's neck.
Aye. I do not usually offer this treatment myself, so I will direct you to a specialist. Jack Stiles, the hangman at Tyburn. Tell Mr. Stiles that Doctor Simon Forman sent you, and he will give you a fair price for a few minutes with one of the corpses.
I will be sure to. And that is all. My husband has no grave condition that threatens his life.
Nay, madam. Aside from the quinsy, your husband appears to be in very fine health.
By my troth, how wondrous. I thank ye heartily for your reassurance, Dr. Forman. Good day.
Now go strangle him with a dead man's hand, because we know you're going to do it. The querent did wish to know if her husband, Mr. John Delamere, does suffer from any grave conditions. I did judge Mr. Delamere as suffering from quinsy. As advised her, I advised her to purchase a few minutes with a fresh corpse from the hangman at Tyburn, so that she may brush her husband's throat with a dead man's hand. Methinks the querent was a little pleased with me. Okay. Take my husband to the hangings at Tyburn. How absurd, unless... Oh god, you're gonna get him hanged. You're gonna somehow get him mixed up in the hangman's noose. And he's gonna get hanged. I'm really sorry, Mr. Delamere. So sorry.
Sibyl's a fine host, of this she will oft boast. She loves to entertain, she loves to entertain. Though hard she does try, her dinners go awry. And in tears and shame.
Hello, Mistress whatever Fortescue. Welcome. How did you poison your guest today?
Good morrow, Mistress Fortescue. How may I help you this day?
I did lately experience feelings of a most strange and disturbing nature, for which I desire an explanation.
I see. Prithee describe these feelings to me, madam. When did they occur?
Last eve, at a dinner party hosted by my dear friend Mistress Emma Delamere.
Oh, her.
All was well at first, but soon after my arrival I was stricken with a kind of madness.
Madness, you say?
Yes, moments during which I found myself overcome with feelings of mirth.
Did you eat
laughing most
mushrooms?
immoderately at the dullest of remarks made by other guests. At other times I felt an unnatural fascination with the shape of the candelabra in the table's centrepiece. And all the while I was so ravenous with hunger, I quite absent-mindedly ate all the sweetmeats at my end of the table. I fear my rapaciousness did not escape the notice of guests seated beside me.
Did you smoke a
Such
new
an
plant?
immoderate appetite is out of character for you, I take it. It could not have merely been occasioned by anxious passions?
Why, nay, Dr. Forman. Forsooth, I ought to have been very calm last eve, for I did spend the afternoon inhaling the fumes of an aromatic oil.
There it is.
A gift from my sweet husband, sent back from his explorations in the Near East.
It was opium,
I did
ma'am.
mention my husband, Captain Henry Fortescue, before, I think. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh. Oh, Henry and Sir Walter find the oil most relaxing, so he tells me.
I'm sure they do.
Yet you were not so very relaxed last eve, I take it.
No, not in the least. For I fear a capricious spell was cast upon me. Over the course of the evening, I developed the strongest intuition that malignant forces were present in the room, and that I had been bewitched.
It was a
Could
bad
it be
trip,
true,
ma'am.
Dr. Forman? Might a witch have cast a spell on me?
That is something we shall have to ask the stars, madam. Let us see. What was it that afflicted Mistress Sybil Fortescue last eve at dinner?
You were out of your freaking mind on opium? The querent is troubled with melancholy. Nope. Lethargy, anxiety, sadness. She did not have those. The querent has been bewitched. No, you just smoked some opium, ma'am. Sybil Fortescue troubles result from smoke inhalation. This suggests an altered mental state. This suggests the condition is chronic. Haha, chronic. Ha ha ha. I get it, game. Very funny. Here you go, ma'am. Please stop smoking strange things.
Now, madam, the oil your husband sent you. This was the first time you did inhale its fumes, methinks.
Yes, the shipment of gifts from my husband did only lately arrive.
Ah, then I think we have your answer. I have read some interesting tales of such oils and herbs of the Near East. 'Tis said they occasion certain temperaments, to wit, an excessive sanguinity, which will have caused the immoderate laughter and increased appetite. They can also provoke a narrowing of the mind, which would explain your temporary fascination with the candelabra, and I believe the fumes of this oil may also have been responsible for the notion that you have been bewitched.
And the men of the Near East gain pleasure from this oil? They would render themselves foolish on purpose.
Aye, indeed. Foreigners have many strange customs and desires that we cannot hope to understand.
How fascinating! I thank you for this explanation, sir. Indeed, 'twill make for a most diverting tale with which to regale guests at my next dinner. God give you good morrow, Dr. Forman.
Yes, please tell all your dinner guests that you got, like, tripped out of your mind on opium. I'm sure they'll love that story. The querent did come seeking an explanation for her strange behavior at a dinner hosted by Mistress Emma Delamere. I did judge the querent's strange behavior as having been provoked by the inhalation of smoke from an oil obtained in the Near East. Methinks the querent is most pleased. Hey, look at that. We're almost there. Almost to the letter of recommendation. I wonder if Dr. Forman's manservant was ever in the Navy. His arms do appear very strong. Who is this manservant? Can we please see him? Please, stop hiding him from us.
Another consultation. Will this one end in bed? Or will Mistress Allen slap him round the head?
I mean, she should slap us round the head.
Ah, good day, Mistress Allen. What brings you this day? Oh, dear lady, you tremble like a leaf on an autumn day.
Aye, for I am most affrighted. But Mr. Allen says he thinks I worry over naught. So I am come to you, for methinks you would... Perchance you may help me.
Of course,
By
madam.
my troth, pray tell me of this evil that have frightened you, madam, and I shall do all in my power to protect you from it.
Yes, evil. Oh, indeed, 'tis the very word for it. I have seen a dark figure prowling outside our house in the night.
Oh,
and
another
once
one.
I saw him spying through my window. Who is he? What does he want from me? What am I to do?
I see. And you do not recognize his face or any other particulars?
It was us,
the
wasn't
colour
it?
of his hair?
It was us.
Oh, nay, for
God.
'tis always so dark. But by his silhouette I can tell he is a bony, scrawny little man.
Is he verily? But your husband thinks 'tis naught to worry over, you say?
Aye, he says the man is doubtless naught but a poor travelling tinker who is merely taking shelter in our garden. 'Twould explain why his figure is so slight, to be sure, but what if he is not a tinker? What if his purpose is more sinister?
Aye, indeed. Then let us consult the stars.
What if it was someone you
Who
knew,
is the
ma'am?
man prowling outside the Allens' house in the night? And what is his purpose?
What if it was someone you knew in perhaps the biblical sense? Avis is mine. She must rein in her behavior. This represents a woman, Avis Allen, that suggests constraint. Not only does Avis have a perceptive nature, she is obsessed with romance and has a preference for younger men. This represents a romantic partner. Avis risks being punished by God for her frequent comings and goings of her house. Or, the intimate relationship between Avis and I is changing. The Prowler is a mature, intelligent man who is a secret enemy of the Allens. I mean, secret enemy? I mean, this is a... I mean... This one is very, like, very sketchy. She must rein in her behavior. She's obsessed with romance. She's being punished by God. Like, yeah, let's not choose that one. B it is.
The stars suggest the Prowler is a secret foe of your husband. Does Mr. Allen have any gambling debts, perchance?
Hold. Methinks I see it now. Ah, 'tis you! The Prowler, 'tis you!
It is indeed.
Me? How now, madam? What an outlandish notion.
So you would deny it? that you have prowled and spied upon me these last months?
Prithee, Avis, you've got it all.
I will not have it. I am not a thing to be owned. I'm not one of your prized possessions.
I prithee, madam, put that down. Put it...
Ah!
Fie, madam. That was a priceless...
Well.
Priceless Venetian vase.
Well, we knew that was going to end poorly. The querent, believing that she was being prowled, did wish to know the identity of the prowler. I advised the querent that the prowler was a secret enemy of her husband's. She disagreed and accused me of prowling her. Methinks the querent took my advice most ill. The querent will return, though, but she's already given me a letter of recommendation, so I don't care. Fie. If I see him in the garden again, I shall have Mr. Allen go, and nay, methinks I had best not tell Mr. Allen. Yes, do not tell him.
Who is this man who has earned such acclaim? Lately returned from his conquests in Spain. The streets of London resound with his fame. Robert Devereux, that is his name.
Oh. Hello, sire. Robert Devereux, the second Earl of Essex. Please come in. Earl, how may I assist you today?
Good day, sir. How may I... By Jupiter! Can it be true? Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex, Lord of Her Majesty's Privy Council, a hero of the Battle of Cadiz.
Prithee, calm yourself, sirrah. Pray, treat me just as you would any other querent.
Of course, as it pleases your lordship. But may I say, what a great privilege it is to... may I offer you a...
You are the man who had some success treating the plague some years past, are you not?
That is
indeed,
correct.
my lord. You are very well informed. My strong water did save many a Londoner from a most lamentable death.
Then perchance you might have some cunning cure for me as well, for since I am returned to England upon having resolved that small matter in Spain, I find myself afflicted with the most vexing ailment.
Oh,
What is
but
that,
your most
sir?
glorious capture of the Spanish city of Cadiz was no small matter, my lord. All England talks of nothing else. Why, pamphlets recounting your heroic exploits are sold on
We are in
every
love with
street
this man.
corner in London.
Mayhap they are. I know nothing of them. My single-handed victory against the King of Spain was but a trifling affair, and the least I could do for my queen and a grateful nation. But I fear vast riches and the hearts of many a Spanish beauty were not the only things I did capture while I was there.
What else did you capture in Spain, my lord?
You have the
I fear I
STI.
do not grasp your meaning. If you would kindly show me where upon your body you are...
As you see, this Spanish disease I caught has me oozing a most disagreeable substance.
Gross.
Methinks I have a fair idea of the nature of your affliction. But I must confirm the judgment with a reading of the stars. Let us see, what disease troubles Robert Lord Devereux, the Earl of Essex?
You're the one with gonorrhea. Is that it, sir? My body does ooze a foul substance. What is my illness, and how may I be cured? There you go. Robert Devereux is suffering from gonorrhea, a disease characterized by white matter running from the privy member and pain when passing urine. Yeah, we thought Ferraro had that, but I think it was Ferraro, but he did not. Robert Devereux was troubled with love. No. Robert Devereux is suffering from evil digestion, an affliction that may occasion both upward and downward purging. Nope. Sir, you have gonorrhea. Please stop with your conquest of Spanish beauties.
You have gonorrhea, my lord. 'Tis a condition provoked by an increase in intimate activities.
Too much strumpy-humpy, eh? Well, 'tis true that since news of my victory got about, every wench from Southwark to Shoreditch wants a piece of my action, as it were. And how may this gonorrhea be cured?
The most effective method is lead plate therapy. Usually this requires a man to lie in bed for many hours with a leaden plate positioned upon his privy parts, thus allowing the lead to impart its healing properties to the affected member. But, of course, men such as your lordship have no time to lie around in bed.
Give him the
which
strong
is
water.
why... Let me just fetch it from my cabinet. Which is why I invented this.
And that is what? Some sort of wonder chub, like the ones old men used to wear?
Precisely so, my lord. 'Tis a codpiece that I had a blacksmith fashion out of lead. I invite your lordship to wear it under your breeches so that the lead may remain in contact with your privy member at all times. Indeed, until you are cured.
How very droll this is. Verily, how old-fashioned. I will appear as hung as old King Henry Tudor. Mayhap I just wear it in my chambers.
Good day, and please come again. If you need anything at all, I am at your service.
Don't know if you can get lead poisoning that way, but I wouldn't suggest that that's a very effective treatment. Either way, even if it doesn't poison you. The patient did present oozing of foul discharge. I did diagnose a case of gonorrhea and prescribed the application of lead plate to the privy parts. Methinks the cleric is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today, and he may come back up to 5 times. Look at that. Look at that. Nearly to the second letter of recommendation in just one go. Though if I were to go about Whitehall Palace wearing a wonder chub, perchance it would revive the fashion for codpieces. Perhaps it would, sir.
What your lover Avis, what your
Don't know.
If a woman has your heart, you cannot let her stray.
Simon, please, you are killing me here.
Avis, I did not expect to see you this evening. Do you bring news?
Aye, some very good news. At least if you confirm it for me. Methinks I am with child.
Uh-oh.
How very wondrous. And, have you any idea of who might...
Aye, verily, with child. But I dare not to. Forsooth, what if it be naught but false hope?
Then let us ask the stars without delay. Is Mistress Avis Allen verily with child?
Well, maybe. Evil angels are confusing Mistress Allen. Within a few months, it will become clear that she is not with child. Evil angels. Mistress Allen is aging. This decreases her chance of being with child. Mistress Allen's family thinks she is lazy. I should feel optimistic about the relationship between Avis and me. Mistress Allen is untrustworthy and creative when it comes to her marital duties. Well, those are not good options. Mistress Allen is with child, but it will die, for she will experience some sudden bad luck, a miscarriage. Ooh. The father of Mistress Allen's unborn child is a strong young man that she is romantically involved with. Please excuse my cat if you can hear him meowing at me. I do not like either one of these options. At all. We're saying bad things about Mistress Allen. We're saying that, like, she is untrustworthy. I mean, perhaps she's untrustworthy. She's with us. So, that she's an old woman. Or we can say, yes, you are with child, but it's gonna die. I don't like these options. Don't, excuse me, cat, please. I know that you're trying to offer your opinion here, but we don't need meows in the background. Okay? No, I said no meows in the background. I chose B. I know I hate it. There were no good options. I chose B. Sue me.
Madam, the stars confirm that you are indeed with child, and that the father is...
Oh, joy! Simon, is it not wondrous? You and I are to be blessed.
Hold. I am not finished. The stars also reveal the identity of the father.
There is no need to read the stars for that, for surely 'tis obvious that you...
Prithee, admit it. You have been coupling with my manservant, William.
Excuse me,
Why,
sir?
you... I warrant the stars say nothing of the sort.
See here, in my chart. 'Tis plain as day. In the house of children, alongside Venus, there is the planet Mars. Who else but William could that be?
But such scribblings of yours, they mean nothing to me. For all I know, you make up those stories about planets and houses and such. Why, verily, perchance you might draw up a new chart, Simon. One that tells of how the planet Avis is no longer in the House of Forman.
You would mock me, madam? You would make a jest of my... Oh, I see. Leaving now, are you? Then you do so. You leave. I bid you good day.
Well, that's probably for the best. You're such an idiot, Simon. Look at that with your idiot look on your idiot face. The queer did wish to know whether she was child. I advised the queer that she was with child and gave voice to my suspicion that the child's father was my manservant, William Buck. Methinks the queer took my advice rather ill. But she will return again. Simon's jealous fancies. I do not think I can abide them any longer.
Rich but not satisfied, mayhap you have not tried this one weird trick for displaying your wealth, by herbs and confections to boost your complexion and pass idle hours tending to your health.
Well, I just noticed that it is beyond 30 minutes in this episode, so I guess I will call it here with the slamming of the door and leaving of Miss Avis Allen. She should have left us long ago because we are a bad man, honestly. But I mean, some of these cases are rather peculiar. If you haven't noticed, and I'm sure you've noticed, because they've been peculiar all along. So, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again next time.